Hi, my name is Theresa Goudy, and I studied the psychology of fear. So my testable question was whether people's greatest fears in life correlated with experiences that they have experienced or lack of experience. So essentially testing if people are truly more afraid of the unknown. So my hypothesis would be that people were more afraid of things that they had not experienced before. And I actually found that most of the data I received went along those lines. So I studied 10 fears, and I created a questionnaire that 250 people answered. And I had so much data that I had to cut it in half and just do the top 5 fears that people answered to. So I studied the fear of heights, snakes, drowning, death, and needles. So these are 2 of the graphs. For snakes, it's pretty easy to see that people who have experienced a snake in the wild have less fear, so that's low levels of fear versus those are severe levels of fear. And then people that had actually seen a snake in captivity had higher levels of fear. And then people that had not seen it at all, it was a tie between medium and severe levels of fear. And that was another interesting thing with drowning. I tested by asking the question about people's level of swimming ability versus how much they feared drowning. So people that had low levels of swimming were more afraid of drowning, and people that had medium to high levels of ability of swimming had lower, these are low levels of fear. So there were more people that had lower levels of fear. I also tested heights, and so for heights I asked, had you ever been rock climbing, and if so, inside or outside? And there wasn't a huge direct correlation between whether someone had rock climbed inside or outside, but people that had never been rock climbing, there was a much higher percentage of them that had a severe level of fear of heights. So I'm thinking now that maybe people who are scared of heights are less likely to want to go rock climbing. So they've let their fear inhibit them from having that experience. I also tested the fear of death, and that one was harder because you couldn't test whether someone had experienced it or not yet. So I based it on what you believed would happen to you after you died. And so generally the more, I guess you could say, happy outcomes of death, like going to heaven or reincarnation, people were less afraid of dying than, say, if you only believed in hell or like the underworld or something dismal like that. And people who were unsure were actually tended to be more afraid of death because they were more afraid of things that were unknown to them. So yeah.